Hello and welcome to Behind the Curtain, Episode 3, Annabelle. My name's Joey Harris and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Mel, say hello.
Hey.
Feyd, say hello.
Hey.
And as I just said, we're starting with the Annabelle doll today.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, this is not the movie version of the doll. This is the real-life doll, which is a bit different from what you might have seen in fiction.
Yes, they took some artistic liberties with the doll to make it a little bit more horrific.
Yeah.
She does not look scary at all in real life.
No, if you've ever seen a Raggedy Ann doll, that's exactly the type of doll that Annabelle is, but for copyright purposes, they couldn't use it in the movie. Which
is interesting, but also, Raggedy Anns are adorable. I just wanted to give it a hug when I saw it.
I know, it's sitting there all sad
And listeners, I want you to know it was a real struggle to research this. Mainly because every time I looked it up, I saw the movie version of Annabelle, and it creeped me the fuck out.
Freak out, yeah.
This is definitely the creepiest thing we've talked about yet,
No, the dog man was much creepier.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Annabelle, after learning about her, she's not creepy at all.
I will just slide my opinion into my pocket, then. Never mind.
Well, if you're scared of a doll, Feyd, let me know. I think I just got an idea for your Christmas present.
Oh, God. Okay, so, facts?
Yeah, jumping straight into the facts. Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll. She has button eyes, red yarn hair. I don't know if you've ever seen the Raggedy Ann cartoon, but...
There was a cartoon?
Essentially, yeah, it was so good. It's really old. It was bought as a present for a woman's daughter named Donna, no last name given. And it was bought during the 1970s.
Yeah, this Donna was a 28-year-old nurse, which student nurse, thank you. Which struck me as odd that it doesn't seem like an age-appropriate gift, you know?
Well, sometimes you buy a doll for your child. For whatever reason, grown women like stuffed animals. Mel uses my money to constantly get him out of claw machines, so I mean...
Try to.
I like that claw machine shop.
It was diagnosed as an inhuman spirit by Lorraine and Ed Warren.
The Warrens are a name that you are going to hear a lot in this episode. They are constantly referenced because they were the paranormal investigators that investigated and eventually captured Annabelle.
I mean, anyone that's interested in the paranormal, I'm pretty sure has heard of them.
Oh, yeah.
Lorraine and Ed Warren are most attributed to their work on the Amityville house. The Amityville horror, as some people might know it. Which, coincidentally, also has a movie.
Yes, if you've ever seen any movie in the Conjuring series, those are based on Ed and Lorraine Warren's escapades.
The doll...
I didn't know.
Yes. The doll currently resides in the Warrens Museum in Monroe, Connecticut. I wish when I was in Connecticut I would have known this existed. I would have gone and taken a look.
Oh yeah, it'd be so cool to just check out all the things that they've done over the years. I mean, real or not.
All the hoaxes, scams, manipulations. Viewers, just so you know, I absolutely hate the Warrens.
It's true, he does. He has an unnatural hatred for these people.
This episode was originally going to be called Why Joey Harris Hates the Warrens so goddamn much.
But that doesn't roll off the tongue, so we had to call it Annabelle.
Yeah, Annabelle sounds better, I'm sorry.
Open quotations. We had a priest come in and bless the museum, including Annabelle. These are prayers that bind the evil, much like an electric fence for a dog. That's from Ed and Lorraine Warren over the protection of the Annabelle doll and case.
It's a pretty interesting set piece if you actually visit the Warrens Museum in Connecticut. They have Annabelle strung up in in a standing position in this box with big red letters that say "Do not open," I believe, or something of that nature.
Do not touch, I believe. I am enough of a coward that if I went there, I wouldn't touch the doll just because,
You don't want to mess with that kind of stuff. Even if it is fake, it's like...
Don't poke a sleeping dragon. So, Feyd, do you want to take us into the haunting?
Yeah, sure. And this is very important to note. for this particular tale is that this was from the collective mouth of the Warrens. They were the ones to document, spread, and tell this story. No location is given for, I don't know, maybe privacy, maybe they couldn't think of one at the time when they were telling it, but yeah, just some backstory. So it all started when Donna, the nurse, brought her present home, Annabelle, and it started moving around. It would often leave notes on parchment saying, help us and help Lou, in childlike handwriting. On
parchment paper. This is very important. They said that they didn't keep that kind of paper around, and this is the US. I don't blame them, because we have note leaf, and parchment is a little bit harder to come by here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't parchment pretty old?
No, parchment.
Not necessarily. It's just a thicker type of paper, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, a blood-like substance also appeared on the doll's hands and body. And this is to me one of the most unbelievable aspects of this story, is that the activity happened for close to a year before the Warrens actually became involved. Donna really didn't want to believe that Annabelle was haunted. I'm not sure why. It's not said in the story, but it was only...
Probably fear of it being real, so she didn't want to
believe
in it.
Why it went for so long could be this next little fact. A seance was held with the medium after these strange happenings occurred, and the medium said the doll was possessed by a spirit, a 7-year-old girl named Annabelle Higgins, and said it was comfortable with Donna, Lou, and Angie, and it was happy with them. After which Donna gave the girl permission to remain.
Huh.
Which is the greatest idea.
Yeah.
Yes. Lou, one of the characters in the story, was against the doll and expressed it and said he was given bad feelings by it, and the doll often gave him recurring nightmares. Mel, you want to tell us what happened next?
When Lou awoke from his nightmares, he was suffering from sleep paralysis. Looking down at his feet, Annabelle was gliding up his body. Annabelle stopped at Lou's neck, and he began to suffocate. He woke the next morning with no visible injuries.
Ugh.
Getting choked out by a doll.
It was a nightmare, though.
No,
Maybe.
that is
dun, dun,
what
dun,
it.
dun.
When I was reading the story, what happened? According to Lou, what happened was he would fall asleep and he'd have nightmares about Annabelle. Then one night he woke up and she was choking him.
Yeah.
Oh, so he woke up from the nightmare and...
Yeah, she went up his body, floated up to his neck and choked him out.
But Raglan dolls don't have fingers.
Well, they also don't spew bloody liquid and write messages.
Good point.
He awoke the next morning, no visible injuries.
The next day, while Lou and Donna were planning a road trip, they heard strange noises coming from Donna's room.
Lou, concerned that it was an intruder, waited for the noise to stop, then burst into the room while turning the light on. No one was in the room and Annabelle had been tossed into a corner. Lou went closer to the doll when he felt like someone was behind him. He turned around, but no one was there. Then he clutched his chest in pain, fell down, and began bleeding. Now, through his shirt were 7 distinct cuts on his chest, 3 horizontal and 4 vertical. They healed extremely fast in only 2 days.
I will give it this, in every reported demon attack where physical harm has come to the person, most of the time it heals extremely quickly.
Huh.
That's reported in demonic cases. Whether or not you believe it or not is up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can do their research and just say this happened, and it just healed quickly, because that's how it works.
True. There's a certain...
Well, they didn't have Wikipedia back then.
There's a certain air of mystique to these sorts of things. Also, to play the other side of the field a bit, if you were a demon, the best thing you could do is make this person feel isolated and alone, and remove the proof as soon as possible, so that way no one would believe them. That's
I
what
would
I'd
remove
do.
the person that is most against me staying in the house, which would be Lou.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is the one she was attacking, so...
Yeah.
I'm gonna head into investigation.
Yes, after it finally took a bloody tic-tac-toe game on Lou's chest for them to contact the Warrens, so let's get into it.
After said bloody game of tic-tac-toe, Donna was convinced that Annabelle was not the young girl. A Catholic priest was contacted, who then contacted another Catholic priest, who then contacted the Warrens. Like
so many really.
Hey father, what's happening? Give me a second. Hello, father? Yes, father. Father, there's something here I don't understand. This girl's being hurt. Give me 1 second. Ring. Hello, the Warrens, home of everything fake and paranormal investigation. How can I help you today? Excuse me, Ed and Lorraine. This is Father blah blah blah. Can you please come? Money, you say? We'll be right there.
How did you find out about this? Oh, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
Right? Oh, man.
I mean, it's true. How much money did they make off the movie?
I have no
Enough.
idea, but they own parts of the rights, so they're definitely not scrounging
Well,
for cash after.
Ed's not alive anymore, so it's just Lorraine.
So she has even more money.
Right?
Yes.
The Warrens said the doll was inhabited by an inhuman spirit after talking to Donna on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
On the phone. No investigation.
Yeah, they didn't even,
On the phone. Joey, contain the calamity.
Okay, you can do this, man.
The woman had told them, the medium, that there was a spirit of a 7-year-old child in the doll by the name of Annabelle, who had been killed outside of their apartment house in an automobile accident. Well, there was such a child, but God does not allow a child's spirit to go into a doll. This was a devil, a demon, inside the doll, which was impersonating the spirit of a child. That's Ed Warren on Seekers of the Supernatural. The Warrens explain that demons often hide behind the guise of a little girl, which actually lines up with some demonology, because, if you want to go unseen or be trusted, you choose the mask. You choose the mask of an innocent.
Yeah.
I mean, it does fit the character of a nurse to be empathetic towards children or those in need.
The Warrens warned that there was a potential of an inhuman spirit possessing a human, in which case deaths would have occurred. Basically, human possession usually ends in blood, and it's not a good thing from what I understand.
Yeah, there's a reason that the Vatican has made an entire industry out of exorcism. Because they believe it's very threatening.
When Ed took the doll on the way home, apparently his car lost steering, it lost its brakes. He thinks that Annabelle was trying to kill him via a car crash.
After Annabelle's attempted telekinetic murder, Ed took a vial of holy water, which presumably he always carries on him, and threw it at the doll in the sign of a cross, much like you see in the movies. And the doll immediately stopped messing with the car's steering and brakes, and he made it all the way back to their home in Connecticut. A Father Jason Bradford came to inspect the doll, but was involved in a crash merely hours after telling the doll it couldn't hurt anyone. So there was there's a verbal altercation with the doll by a priest. I don't know what the doll could have done to rile him up. But yeah, and the last bit, the most recent reported case of Annabelle harming someone was a young couple that went to the Warrens Museum. While they were looking at Annabelle, the man banged on the glass case and antagonized the doll. Having heard about Lou's interaction and his tic-tac-toe chest, the man was
He won and won too.
Yeah, I guess so. He was antagonizing the doll so bad that Ed Warren had to kick him out, and they later learned that the two were riding their motorcycle and they had been involved in a crash. The man died, but the girl was alive but in a coma for a while, as if I recall correctly.
Yes, she was injured, but not dead. And it wasn't severe, like she was an imminent threat, but she was fucked up.
Down but not out.
Yeah.
And
it's nice to see that the demon shows mercy, because man died, but she's like, I can't really get to him without fucking with the car. So I mean, the girl will live if she has a strong enough will.
Chivalry really isn't dead.
Oh man. So, a few things. Now that we're getting into what we've researched, I went through about 14 different sites trying to find who Father Jason Bradford was. Nothing about this man. There are several Father Jason Bradfords, but none of them who had been involved with the doll, and none of them that had died in a car crash.
Yeah, I also went through local Connecticut news websites and obituaries to try and find out if there was any truth to the motorcycle accident that Ed Warren was reporting.
Too.
Yeah, I think collectively we put an hour into figuring out if that was true, but we couldn't find anything. But
the only person we did find was the Warrens and Annabelle Higgins.
Annabelle Higgins, I didn't find any factual proof for.
But
No?
Absence of evidence isn't evidence of absence.
True.
Well, true, but you can say anything's true just by saying you can't prove it's not.
Wait, people. You wouldn't say people would go on the internet and tell lies?
I mean...
No, never!
But this was pre-internet.
That's
when it
true.
was easier to cover up your tracks.
No, but it was still making horror movie time.
Well,
basically.
no. Annabelle came out like 30 years later.
Yeah, it took them a while to sell the rights to this story.
But, like, for real though, Warrens, if you can hear me, if you're listening, there are going to be episodes on you. There are going to be episodes on everything you do, and you will be proven as the horrible people that you are. Anyways,
please follow Joey's Twitter at I love Ed and Lorraine Warren. # Warren Fan Club.
Feyd, I can get another editor.
Oh
no. So, as you can probably tell by my tone, I have my own severe beliefs on this subject. But, let's start with Mel. What do you believe?
Looking up facts and stories about Annabelle, I had only found one story, which was the one we told about Donna and her two roommates. And there's nothing else about her. Other than the two crashes that can't be proven either. The only person that who we've proven is a real life person that wasn't made up are the Warrens.
And they're the one telling the tale.
Yeah, they're the only people that we could prove were part of the story and that are real. We have no idea about Donna, Lou, or anyone. We didn't find any proof that they're real people. I think the Warrens are basically making stuff up. So, for one, they could get movie ideas and they could get money from the movies. They're getting money from their museum. They're getting money from just going to these places and saying they're haunted. And they're just making a lot of money by saying things are evil or saying that this house is haunted,
The Warrens are often seen as a psychic authority or a paranormal authority, but anyone who's worth their salt who can research more than 5 minutes knows there's nothing there.
Now,
Yeah,
I don't think that there's ever been talk of them getting paid for any of these cases, but they have published a lot of books on demonology and interactions between their studies and their religious beliefs and all that, and those cost money, believe it.
When she was often a guest on Paranormal State, a TV show that ran from 2005 to 2007, I believe, she was a consul, someone they went to, and I don't think she appeared on television without getting that sweet, sweet, easy dollar.
Basically, yeah.
Ugh, I hate her.
So,
We know.
my thoughts on this doll is that she's completely fake. I mean, I've never been 100% on anything that it's real or fake. Like Dogman, I still don't know if that's possible or not. But for Annabelle, honestly, I think she's 100% fake. She's not real. She's just a Raggedy Ann doll that's locked in a box that has a cross over it.
Hashtag free Raggedy Ann.
Ooh, Mel calling out the Warrens. Dang.
I'm glad to see I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Well, I would think, for one, a demon, to hold it back, it would take more than a box with a cross over it. And I know they bless the box and whatnot, but still,
Prayers
I would think it would figure something out.
Prayers are a very powerful thing. If you have the force of God behind your words, then I think that with a practiced priest or someone of the cloth, you could hold a demon.
My thoughts on the subject are, I've met Catholic priests. One of my college friends was an altar boy, and he was practicing to become an exorcist. He's not. He forwent that for obvious reasons. But
Yeah.
in the end, whether or not a priest can hold a demon, you have to believe, one, that a demon exists and God exists.
Yeah.
If assuming both of these
True.
are true, which some of our viewers may, some of them might not, that's up to you to decide. I believe, my personal belief on priests and demons is that a priest with practice and with good intentions may hold a demon and maybe even send it back. As for my beliefs on Annabelle, first and foremost, disclaimer, I'm not an expert on demonology.
No.
I've studied bits.
None of us are, but...
Yeah.
I don't have the knowledge nor the titles to declare anything possessed or not in the name of God or the Catholic Church. That being said, given what I do know, I am, highly skeptical. This doll, in my unprofessional opinion, is not possessed. Demons, in my very little study, do not possess objects. They possess you. A doll has no real power, but a person does. I'm usually skeptical in all cases where something is possessed or someone, but a Raggedy Ann doll seems like the last thing I would possess. As you might have been able to tell by my, outward words towards the Warrens, I believe them to be money-hungry, foul, and opportunist. I believe, but, topic for another day.
That's what they are.
Whether something can be possessed is up for debate, such as James Dean's car or Robert the doll, which we may get into another time. I believe this is another fabrication of the Warrens to scare people and to take your money. But my last thoughts on the subject are, the movie doll is creepy as hell and is much more likely to take your life than the real Annabelle. Feyd, what are your thoughts on the subject?
So, while we were doing research for the Warrens, it seemed pretty evident, like Mel stated earlier, that they were simply trying to sell a story. And by building up this professional mysticism, I believe that the Warrens are out to sell books, sell movies, sell t-shirts, sell tickets to their museums. And, yeah. They just... I don't have much to say besides the fact that I believe them to be frauds. There's been no reported case of any psychokinetic ability. Shout out James Randi, great skeptic, great guy. And that paired with the fact that there hasn't really been any confirmed sightings of ghosts or demons that I know of in my limited research, I'm gonna give it my official stamp of incredulity.
Whether or not ghosts or demons exist, that's up to the viewer to decide whether or not they believe in that. All we can do is offer a framework. I don't believe in the Warrens, but if you do, feel free to let me know in the comments. Honestly, it's a shaky subject for some people, for demons and God and everything in between. Big support on the first and second episodes.
Thank you, listeners.
Shout out to you guys, because this is such a dream for me, and we're slowly gaining traction. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And just a little disclaimer that I like to run at the end of every episode. We are in no way professionals in the field of the paranormal or cryptozoology. We are merely just a bunch of goofballs talking about paranormal stuff.
Yes.
Heed our words. Take them with a grain of salt.
Again, sorry to those of you listening that this video took a bit too long to get out. For those of you wondering, Thing Green is one of our friends who will be appearing maybe every other week. He's more of a guest, an honored guest, than an esteemed co-host.
Yes, guest/co-host.
Yeah.
Next episode, we're letting Feyd Crampton take the reins.
Woo!
Every other week, we shall be doing what we dub creature features here at Behind the Curtain. And Feyd gets the next one on
The Mothman, my absolute favorite cryptid.
Whether
He's
or
so
not,
great.
I have a lot of research because all I know is what you've told. Another thank you to you guys. We really appreciate you guys supporting us.
Love you.
Love y'all. Shout out to one of my customers, Scott, for being such a good motivator. He's always asking where the next episode is.
Go Scott, you're the best.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You're not Scott.
No, I'm just saying thanks to Scott. I appreciate his contribution.
Oh. Because I've been calling you Joey this whole time.
Yeah, my name's Joey.
Okay, cool.
Next time, the Mothman. We'll see you then. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.